My name is Maggie McAlpine, and I'm the Cyber Engagement Lead here at the Center for Threat-Informed Defense, part of MITRE Engenuity. And with me today is Adrian Nish, the Head of Cyber Portfolio at BAE Systems. Adrian, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Maggie.
I was wondering if we could start with you telling us a bit about your organization and how you got involved with CTI Blueprints.
Sure. So BAE Systems is one of the largest defense and security contractors in the world. We have a division called Digital Intelligence, which is nearly 5,000 people working exclusively on cyber, data, and space applications. And within our cyber portfolio, we have a threat intelligence team and service, and that team use the MITRE ATT&CK framework as part of their investigations and their write-ups and the customer work. So we've been tracking the progress of ATT&CK for years, and we're delighted to get the opportunity to engage more directly with the team at MITRE through the Center for Threat-Informed Defense.
And we're very pleased to have you. So can you tell us a little bit more about CTI Blueprints and the industry challenges that this project was anticipated to address?
So I think the threat intelligence side of cybersecurity has evolved quite considerably over the last sort of decade. The initial kind of problems that people were focused on with things like how do you consume all of the different intelligence that's out there, all of the different IOC feeds and open source information and reporting that you can get from vendors. And so a lot of the tools and the platforms are very focused on that kind of consumption problem, and often deduplication of the information was an important part of that. I think as we've become better at handling that, we've made a sort of an evolution and upped our game in terms of maturity, and are now more focused on operationalizing that information. And a key part of that is how you generate effective threat intelligence for sharing with different stakeholders, so human readable reports as well as some of the other outputs. So when the team at Center for Threat-Informed Defense came up with the idea for Blueprints, we were delighted to see that because it matched our thinking in terms of where we saw that kind of natural evolution of threat intelligence going.
Going into a bit more detail, can you tell us about how CTI Blueprints solves the problem? Maybe how does it especially help practitioners, and who you intended it for as a target audience of users?
So one of the kind of enduring challenges in intelligence as a field is that you have different stakeholders, different people you want to get sometimes the same intelligence to. It's just they have a different role, they have a different context. So producing the same base intelligence, but getting that into different formats is always one of the kind of classic intelligence challenges. I think within the cyber domain, like I said, we've progressed things to a level of maturity that we can now focus on some of those other enduring kind of challenges in intelligence. And so the Blueprints approach is take that base intelligence that we have about a particular incident, a particular threat actor, a particular event, but be able to take the same information into different types of reporting for different stakeholders. So kind of map the underlying intelligence to an executive report or a SOC team report or an incident or a victim notification, and use that then efficiently to get the same information out, but to different stakeholders.
Understood. So as for your organization, BAE Systems, how do you anticipate leveraging and applying this work? And how would you think of it as best applied?
So for our organization, we are a vendor of threat intelligence. So we're providing threat intelligence reporting out to customers in about 45 different countries across both government and commercial spaces. So for our customers, we want to get them intelligence in a standard format that they can use alongside other intelligence they're receiving and be able to consume that in a consistent fashion. We also want to be able to work with those customers to adopt these for their own intelligence reporting. Most of our customers are intelligence teams and producers of intelligence themselves, whether that be in a large commercial organization as part of a SOC team or an intelligence agency for a government. So the more people we can get using CTI Blueprints, I think the more we can help the whole ecosystem in terms of generally sharing intelligence in a consistent fashion. So for us, that's kind of the goal. It's adopted ourselves so that our customers can consume using consistent formats, but also help our customers through tooling that we provide to actually use the Blueprints effectively.
Well, thank you for that. Now, pivoting slightly, the center has a pretty unique approach to collaborative R&D. Can you tell us a little bit how the collaboration went on your end for this project of CTI Blueprints?
Certainly. So the initial idea and the initial concept was something that we had in mind as well. So this fitted quite well with our roadmap and where we saw ATT&CK and our use of it evolving. And the team really got that. So they were delighted to see our enthusiasm, and we shared our ideas for where we thought some of the reporting could go. We also worked with some of the other industry partners who were part of the project team, just again to share ideas on the different formats, what would work well for different stakeholders. And that really then was brought together by the CTID project team into the final blueprint templates. And it's still a work in progress. I think we're excited to see how this lands with others around industry and government, and see then how do we develop that into something that can be even more useful.
Still staying on the topic of the center, how has your participation in the center expanded your goals at BAE, and how has it helped your organization's expertise and capabilities?
So I think it's really refreshing to find others who are working on similar problems to us, and that's both through the engagement we've had with the centre itself, but also the other partners that are working with the centre. So that's kind of helped in terms of us understanding others have similar kind of views of the pain points in the landscape and are also working on similar solutions. So that's given us confidence in our roadmap and where we're going and the developments we're making, again, to make threat intel more consumable, more actionable for customers.
That brings us to our final question. A key aspect of the center's approach is that as projects are completed, they're made freely available to the world. Why is supporting that kind of investment in community resources valuable for you at BAE Systems and the larger community?
So for me, it comes down to having kind of standards of kind of protocols and approaches and ways of working so that we can all kind of share information in the same manner. That makes what we're doing and pushing out to our customers and stakeholders more effective. It also makes it easier for us to consume, both for our own network defense, but also for supporting that network customers. So the kind of evolution of taxonomies and machine readable formats, templates, all of this is all furthering that overall goal, I think.
Thank you for joining us today, Adrian, and for talking about CTI blueprints and your work with the center at BAE Systems.
Delighted to be part of this and hope we can do more in future.
Well, thank you.